Morning, my name's Anne-Marie from Spot On Driving. I'm a driving instructor. I help people to pass driving tests, pass theory tests, and to be more confident about taking the tests as well. Today I'm going to respond to a question that I've had, and it's to help you to understand the stopping and parking and loading signs and lines on the road. So I'm going to give you an easy way of remembering them today. So first of all, I'm going to talk about this single white line that you'll get that's near the curb. On some roads, on the road there's a marking of just a single white line. That single white line simply means edge of a carriageway. So this, I can't draw it in white, so I've drawn it here for you. This single white line, if there is no pavement, then you shouldn't park. There's no parking on that road. So sometimes it's next to a pavement, sometimes it's on a rural road. If it's on a rural road, if there's no pavement, there's no parking. And then you get yellow lines painted on the road. So you get single yellow lines like this. I've drawn it in orange, I haven't got a yellow pen. And double yellow lines. The single yellow lines means no waiting or parking sometimes. And the double yellow line means no waiting or parking at any time. Now sometimes there'll be a sign telling you, I'll talk about those signs in a minute. And then, there are exceptions to these no waiting or parking. If you are a blue badge holder, then you should be able to park for up to 3 hours, but check the signs. You need to check the signs in the local area, and you must clearly display your blue badge. Now, these yellow lines, no waiting or parking. You can stop the car to drop somebody off or to pick somebody up. In a theory test, they call that drop off or drop off or set down passengers. So you can just stop for a moment, drop somebody off or stop for a moment, pick somebody up, but you can't wait. You can't park on double yellow lines at any time, single sometimes. And then you get red lines on the road. It's the same principle. Red lines means no parking or stopping. If it's one single line, sometimes. And there'll be a sign telling you. And if it's a double red line, you can't stop at any time. Okay, so single line means sometimes, double lines means at any time. The exception is you can stop to pick up or drop off a blue badge holder just for a moment. Move off as soon as you can and clearly display your badge. But these ones, the red, you can't stop. Sometimes, if it's a single line, at any time, if it's a double line, and there will be signs telling you when. And then you get these signs. This one has got one line going through it, and this one's got two lines going through it. And it means the same as these red lines here. So this one means you can't park or stop sometimes, and there'll be a sign telling you when. And this one means it's a clear way, and you can't park or stop at any time. So again, we've got this one line means sometimes and two lines means at any time. And if it's sometimes, if it's a single line for no stopping or parking, a single line for no stopping or parking, a single line for no waiting, then there'll be a sign telling you. And this sign is saying that you can't stop between Monday and Saturday between 8 o'clock in the morning and 6:30 at night. Does that make sense? I hope so. And then you get, sometimes you get lines on the, actually on the curb. And these are what I'm trying to show here, lines actually on the curb. And these are loading lines. So if you are delivering something to a shop, let's say you're a van driver and you're delivering a load of cakes to a cake shop. This is telling you when and if you're allowed to do that, the lines, little lines that are actually painted on the curb. And if it's a single line, it's telling you that there's no loading sometimes. And there'll be a sign telling you. And if the double lines painted actually on the curb, that means no loading at any time. So this sign here, can you see this one here? It's telling you there's one single no loading sign saying there's no loading between Mondays and Fridays, between 8 o'clock and 9:30 in the morning, and between 4:30 and 6:30 in the afternoon. So at the busy times of day, you're not allowed to stop your van, load those cakes into the cake shop. But after 6:30 or after 9:30 and before 4:30, you can. So I hope that makes sense. I'll just go through brief you through the whole thing. So sometimes there's a single white line to the left of you, painted where the curb would normally be or next to the curb. Single white line. It means edge of carriageway. That will be the answer in a theory test. What does this single white line mean? It means edge of carriageway. But if that single white line is painted on a road with no pavement, you don't park there. There's no parking there. Single line here means no waiting or parking. So you can stop, drop somebody off, pick them up, but there's no waiting. Sometimes if it's single, at any time if it's double. If it's red, there's no stopping. Red, more danger. There's no stopping. Sometimes if it's single, at any time if it's double. Same here. One single line, no stopping, sometimes. Double lines, no stopping at any time. And if it's a single line, there'll be a sign telling you when you're allowed to either stop or wait or park. And this sign is telling you that you can't do it between Monday and Saturday 8 till 6:30, but before 8 o'clock, after 6:30, you can. And then these lines painted on the curb mean no loading. And if it's one line painted on the curb, no loading sometimes, and it'll tell you when with a sign. And if it's two little lines on the curb painted together, that means no loading at any time. So I hope that makes sense. There are times that the road just carries on, and there'll be so at one point you can park and you can stop, and at some point you can't. It'll just suddenly change, but the sign will be there just above telling you what times you're allowed to do that if it's a single line, and if it's double, it means you can't do that thing at any time.